Hillary Clinton was on a podcast with David Plouffe. David Plouffe is former Barack Obama's campaign manager back in 2008. Yeah, she was on this podcast and she said some things.
Clinton is suggesting that Russians are grooming a 2020 Democratic presidential hopeful to run as a third-party candidate and spoil the race for the Democrats. Take a listen to her remarks in a new podcast from David Plouffe.
I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far.
Now, when asked if Clinton was referring to Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat of Hawaii, Clinton's spokesman said, quote, "If the nesting doll fits," he added, quote, "if the Russian propaganda machine, both their state media and their bot and troll operations, is backing a candidate aligned with their interests, that is just a reality. It is not speculation."
Jake Tapper just said they reached out to find out from the campaign, from the Hillary Clinton camp, hey, did she talking about Tulsi? They was like, duh. Come on, Johnson. How much clearer do we got to be, Johnson? Can't you hear? So the Hillary Clinton campaign isn't backing away from this. This is what they meant. This is what Hillary Clinton meant. And that's what she said. Now, bear in mind, no facts have been presented. No evidence has been presented. Just a lot of smear allegations, right? Okay, so this bombshell drops. Tulsi Gabbard responds, first off, on Twitter. And she's talking directly to Hillary Clinton. She says, great, thank you, Hillary Clinton. You, the queen of warmongers, embodiment of corruption and the personification of the rot that has sickened the Democratic Party for so long, have finally come out from behind the curtain. From the day I announced my candidacy, there has been a concerted campaign to destroy my reputation. We wondered who was behind it and why. Now we know. It was always you, through your proxies and powerful allies in the corporate media and war machine, afraid of the threat I pose. It's now clear that this primary is between you and me. Don't cowardly hide behind your proxies. Join the race directly. Booyah! So that's where it was, okay? So we got Hillary Clinton making a horrible allegation, smear attack on Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard responds on Twitter saying, okay, I see you now. Oh, okay, okay, so I'm glad you came out from behind the rock you were hiding behind. Instead of throwing a rock, what we like to say, throwing a rock or hiding your hand, instead of doing that, Hillary Clinton's out front and center, making a claim, making a statement on the podcast. Tulsi Gabbard is now taunting Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State, former First Lady, former Senator Hillary Clinton. She is taunting Hillary Clinton. Someone sent me a tweet that was an anonymous DM from somebody I don't know. Looked like an account they just created today. And they said, Tim Black, Tulsi Gabbard is a genius. And I was like, okay, Tulsi Gabbard is a genius. Why are you saying Tulsi is a genius? This person said because, remember what Tulsi said during the debate? When she said something about deplorables. Tulsi Gabbard was baiting Hillary Clinton to come out. She was baiting the Clinton camp. And she played them. She knew that Hillary Clinton had such a huge ego that they would come out and say something publicly. I don't know if you guys remember what she said. I had to go look this up because I wanted to be sure we're talking about the same thing. And just in case you missed it, this was Tulsi Gabbard during the debate when she made a mention that may have got this all started or took it to the next level. Because it was already started, but this statement at the debate may have taken things to the next level. Check this out.
Americans remembering that we are all brothers and sisters, that we are all connected. This is the kind of leadership that I seek to bring as president, inspired by the example of presidents like Abraham Lincoln, who talked about how we should have malice for none and charity for all. When I look out at our country, I don't see deplorables. I see fellow Americans.
So what the person who sent me that DM was trying to tell me, and what they said was, this clip you just saw on CNN at the debate when Tulsi Gabbard made this statement, it wasn't as, well, innocent's not a word. It was a very tactical, strategic statement to make. And what I'm gleaming from all of this is possibly Tulsi Gabbard already knew, or she had her suspicions. Okay, remember, we're talking about a congressperson. She's not someone new to the scene. She's been in the Congress, and she has her own connections. And maybe the word got back, hey, your smears, the smears that you're getting every time you go on the, whenever you're being interviewed from anywhere from NPR to MSNBC to CNN, everywhere you go, it's like they're dogging you. We got people coming from the New York Times. We got people coming from CNN. We got people going on podcasts. Even remember Barry Weiss went on Joe Rogan's podcast and dogged and degraded Tulsi Gabbard's name and reputation. So maybe they told Tulsi Gabbard, hey, this is coming from high up. This is coming from the Clinton camp. Now, the thing about it is, we all know the bad blood. And for those who don't know, Tulsi Gabbard was once a darling to the Democratic Party. They were looking at Tulsi Gabbard like she was going to be the next one. They inserted her. They gave her the slot at the DNC. She was a vice chair. And it was very evident that she could become the successor to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Remember, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, longtime ally to Hillary Clinton, always doing Hillary Clinton's dirty work. Whatever needed to be done, that's what Debbie Wasserman Schultz did. Debbie Wasserman was hoping that Hillary Clinton would win the presidency and maybe she joined Hillary in her White House in a cabinet position. As was the same for a lot of people that you see who are very bitter. See, we got a lot of folks walking around, a lot of people on Twitter, Johnson. They think, oh, it's just the Vote Blue crew, the Democrats, they just believe in the Democratic Party. No, we got a lot of very bitter, virulent, pissed off, apoplectic Hillary supporters who were not so much in love with Hillary, but they have been biding their time for years doing whatever Hillary told them to do, doing whatever the DNC told them to do, doing whatever Bill Clinton told them to do, all waiting for an opportunity to cash in on it. Where? At the White House in a cabinet position or some other way affiliated with a presidency under Hillary Clinton. And what happens? They lose. They get embarrassed by a reality show producer by the name of Donald Trump. An orange man beats him and foils him. It ruins their game. I'm telling you, a lot of these Hillary people were picking out property here in Georgetown, in my native Washingtonian, right here in D.C., in Potomac, in Georgetown, in DuPont Circle. They were picking out brownstones. All that went away. So these people are very pissed off. And who do they blame for that? We all know they blame Susan Sarandon and Nina Turner and Bernie Sanders and anybody who didn't vote for Hillary, but they also blame Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard and Nina Turner, these are people that were supported by the Clintons at some point. And then Tulsi Gabbard looked around. She didn't like what was going on in the White House, well, with the Hillary Clinton camp, what was going on in the DNC. She resigned her position. And to make matters worse, a double slap in the face, like she slapped Hillary once by quitting the DNC. The double slap was she went and supported Bernie Sanders. Not only did she support Bernie Sanders, she was a surrogate. There is footage of Tulsi Gabbard on MSNBC and CNN supporting Bernie, calling out the Clintons.
Joining us now, a very high-profile supporter of Senator Bernie Sanders, Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii. Congresswoman, thanks very much for joining us. Hillary Clinton, as you know, she was Secretary of State for 4 years. She was a U.S. Senator from New York for 8 years. Do you think she's qualified to be President of the United States?
Wolf, this whole back and forth, I think, is really getting hyped up a lot more by the media. And really, what I hear from people along the campaign trail and what I know the American people are concerned about is about who is right and wrong on issues that are important to them. I can see why the Clinton campaign's getting nervous. Bernie's won 7 out of the last 8 states. He's clearly got momentum as he gains more support in the states that are coming up. But really what it comes down to and what is important to talk about in this election is the differences between the two candidates. And you and I have spoken before specifically on Secretary Clinton's tenure as Secretary of State, as U.S. Senator, and the track record that she has in particular on these foreign policy issues. So when voters are looking at in these upcoming states, what are the differences? Some key distinctions that are important to note are beginning with the Iraq War. Secretary Clinton either didn't do her homework properly or she didn't have the foresight and judgment to know how that war would end up, and she voted for it.
So let me.
So for anybody who's not up to speed, hope you're up to speed on that. So now we're at that point, right? We have the tweets going back and forth. We got Clinton making that statement on the podcast. Now I got for you Tulsi Gabbard speaking publicly in a response on CBS to the allegations.
Let's be clear about what this is about. Really, that if anyone stands up and speaks out to end the regime change war policies our country has had for so long, the likes of which we've seen waged in Iraq, Libya, and ongoing in Syria, we will be labeled as foreign agents. We will be labeled as traitors to our country. So really what this is a message to every veteran in this country who has put their life on the line to serve our country, to every single American who believes strongly that we must end this long-standing foreign policy of being the world's police and waging these regime change wars, which is really the legacy of Hillary Clinton. Then we are traitors to the nation that we love. This is despicable on so many levels.
When you say regime change wars, what do you mean by that?
This long-held foreign policy of the United States, of which Hillary Clinton was a champion of for a very long time, of going around the world, acting as the world's police, overthrowing and toppling dictators that we don't like. Again, wars that I've served in, the war in Iraq, the toppling of Gaddafi in Libya, and the ongoing regime change war in Syria. This is what we're talking about. This is what I have been strongly calling for an end to. And this is the reason why she and her minions are trying to smear me, smear my character, and undermine my campaign, labeling me as a foreign agent, as a traitor to my country.
But Congresswoman, with respect, Clinton did not explicitly name you in that podcast. So why are you addressing her comments and bringing more attention to them?
Come on, let's be real here. Look at every single headline that's come out of her comments on that podcast. Every single one has my name in there. So let's not mess around here and pretend that it wasn't something that it was.
Would you ever consider running as a third-party candidate, as she believes?
No.
You possibly would.
No, I've said that many times before. I've been very clear. I will not be leaving the Democratic Party. I will not be running as an independent or a third-party candidate. I am running as a Democrat to take our party back, away from the control of people like Hillary Clinton and the warmongering and corrupt, powerful establishment, and return our party into the hands of the people. Make it so that the Democratic Party is once again a party of, by, and for the people, a party that will fight for the people, fight to protect our planet, and that will fight for peace.
I want to point out, guys, look, Tulsi Gabbard said this is about war, regime change war, and I agree to a certain extent it is about that, but it's also about that bad blood I just explained to you. That's the reason why it's so personal for Hillary. Of course they would smear her for supporting ending the wars. Of course the party of unions and the party of the working class is really the party of the military-industrial complex. But so are both parties, okay? So if that was the case, if it was just about military-industrial complex, why is it the Republican Party smearing Tulsi as well? In fact, the only place Tulsi gets treated with any respect, besides independent media, and some of independent media, not all of independent media, is when she goes on like Fox News. So I don't think it's just about the military. I don't think it's just about ending war. I don't think it's just about wanting to bring the troops home. I think it's also about the bad blood and the stranglehold that Hillary Clinton still has on the DNC, and by association, she still has a stranglehold on corporate media. But what I'm seeing now is I'm seeing people who are like, hold on a second. Hillary done stepped in it. Hillary she has muscle, but she didn't have as much muscle as I think Hillary thinks she has. So Hillary's ego is so big, she thinks she can do whatever she wants to do. This is a gift to Tulsi Gabbard. Hillary's hubris is a gift to Tulsi Gabbard. I'm looking at Tulsi Gabbard. I'm like, how is Tulsi Gabbard going to make the next debate? How is Tulsi Gabbard going to finish? How is she going to, complete this run? How is she going to do this strong? And then comes this. Man, it's Christmas in October. That's right, it's Christmas in October because Hillary has such a big head, such a big ego. Johnson, she just giving out gifts. Oh, man, this is what she just gave Tulsi a new lease on life, a new lease on her campaign. This is good for at least three-point bump. Hell, this may put her really in contention for front-runner status. This will push, mark my words, this little stunt by Hillary Clinton that she thought would sink Tulsi Gabbard, just pushed and propelled Tulsi Gabbard past Kamala Harris. And I'm thinking she's going to be up there with Buttigieg. Mark my words, if this is played correctly, this will immensely help Tulsi Gabbard. And to think, the Clinton camp is now helping Kamala Harris. I believe the Clinton camp would have rather had Tulsi Gabbard than Kamala Harris. I think obviously, Tulsi's a much better, much more savvy politician than Kamala Harris. And that's who they would rather have. There's a lot of bitter pills going on. But I want to go back to just one thing. Now, in that podcast, Hillary Clinton made an allegation that Tulsi Gabbard's going to run third party, right? That's what she said, right? Tulsi Gabbard's going to ruin it for the Democratic Party. And she's going to run independent, and she's going to split the vote, and this is how we're going to get more Trump. That's the allegation. That's what Hillary's using to kind of buttress this horrible action. Well, guys, you don't even have to look far. You heard Tulsi Gabbard just say she has no intention of running third party, right? Well, she said that months ago.
Exactly.
You didn't make this debate. You may make the next one. You're sticking in the race. But fact is, you're well behind what is a pretty established group of frontrunners in this race, including the former Vice President Joe Biden. If you don't win the Democratic nomination, will you run as an independent?
I will not. No, I've ruled that out. I'm going to continue to focus on moving our campaign forward, continuing this grassroots campaign, continuing to deliver our message to the American people and ask for their support.
Right, so this is not new. And don't tell me that no one knew that Tulsi Gabbard made this statement. I'm going to say it. Tulsi Gabbard may be the brightest, one of the brightest. I can't say the brightest. I'll say one of the brightest politicians I have seen since I've been covering politics. She is amazing. She is savvy. She's gutsy. She plays for keeps. She's not hedging. You read those tweets. She's not playing around. Can you imagine Cory Booker fighting back against Hillary like that? No, I don't think he would. Can you imagine Amy Klobuchar dueling it out with Hillary like that? Can you imagine Senator Elizabeth Warren duking it out with Hillary? No, I don't see it happening, man. Tulsi Gabbard, she's tough, man. And I think she deserves all the support, all the props for what she's doing. Hey, I'm Tim Black. I'm just going to tell you like this, Johnson. If Tulsi Gabbard can put together domestic language, domestic rhetoric that is that of a populist tone, to bring it full circle, to couple that with her foreign policy, she got a shot. That's how strongly I feel about this, because one thing I've been telling you guys, and I've been saying this from day one, go back to 2015 with me. Go look at my channel. I got 3,000 videos. Look up Hillary Clinton. I've always said, Hillary Clinton is so hated that there were people who were in hospital beds on ICU. When they saw that Hillary Clinton was running, they got a new lease on life. They yanked the IVs out of their arms. They pushed aside their heart monitors, and they put on their pants and their shoes, and they took an Uber, and some of them walked to the polling station to vote against Hillary. That's how much people don't like Hillary, Johnson. You best believe if Tulsi Gabbard can couple her foreign policy, I'm going to say it again, if Tulsi Gabbard can couple her foreign policy with some domestic policy, with some more populist rhetoric, we may be looking at the next president. Look, you think I'm joking? I'm not joking. Tulsi can run against Hillary. She can run against Trump and Hillary at the same time. The reason why we had Donald Trump is because Hillary ran against him. Trump would not have been able to use half the ammunition that he used if it would have been somebody other than Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, all the things that Tulsi Gabbard is saying, Hillary is the dreck around the neck. She is the weight, the anvil around. And it's not just Hillary. The Clinton dynasty is a weight around the neck of so many of the Democratic Party and of the DNC. It's been that way, and it was continued under Obama. Tulsi Gabbard could run against Hillary. She could make this primary about Hillary, and she could start calling out candidates based on their affiliation with Hillary. We could start seeing all of these Hillary cronies having to distance themselves from Hillary. It could happen, Johnson. That's how toxic Hillary is. And Hillary coming back is a detriment to anybody any of these people anyway, any of these Democratic candidates other than Bernie and Tulsi. She is a detriment to even be on the world stage, guys. Trump can run. See, because Trump can tie Hillary to everyone else except Bernie and Tulsi. Folks, I truly hope that Bernie and Tulsi mend all fences, if there's any fences to mend. Maybe there's none to mend. Maybe we supporters need to mend the fence. Tulsi and Bernie could win this whole thing. Tulsi may even be able to win it on her own. And I've never spoken this. I've never felt this way until now. This is a big deal. This is a huge deal. What do Tulsi and Bernie have in common? They both went up against Hillary. Wow. SS Breon says, Tulsi's a warrior. Thanks for supporting her, Tim. Hey, man, every time I get out, she pulls me back in. Every time I get out, she pulls me back in. Hey, look, her actions pull me in. Not her words, not her smile, her actions. That's what it's all about. Her actions her actions warrant this reaction. You get what I'm saying? And that's what we want from our politicians, right? We want them to move us by what they do, not just by what they say. Tulsi Gabbard moves you by what she does. That's why she is special. She takes chances. She comes harsh. She comes direct. I think she may. Damn it. Add to her foreign policy, add some more domestic policy, and add the rhetoric of populism. Add the rhetoric and add the black folks. Hey, I love who you got around you. Great people, your sister, everybody you work with. Add some color. Show me that you're really trying to win this. Add some color. You ain't going to win the presidency without black folks. Add some black people. Black people. Do it. Add some black people. Get some black people that can speak to demographics that you're going to need to win. Don't get me excited about your candidacy and then you not do this. You got to do it. Got to get fluent in your rhetoric about these issues. Tulsi Gabbard, you are cooking with gasoline. Right now you can make yourself over right now. Oh, Hillary Clinton done screwed up, baby. Johnson, she screwed up. Hillary has screwed up, Johnson. You get high-headed, you make mistakes. And other people who are strategic capitalize off your mistakes. Tulsi Gabbard has capitalized off of Hillary Clinton's mistake, which was her hubris and her hot-headedness, responding to Tulsi Gabbard, what she said in the CNN debate when she made that comment about Trump and deplorables. We knew who she was talking about. So I'm going to go to the next call, guys. But it doesn't have to. Oh, one last thing, and just because I might forget it later, I'm sure someone will bring it up. Ain't it something that Hillary Clinton could go after not just a veteran, a member of Congress who's an active member of our military? Tulsi Gabbard is a major Come on, guys. Come on. This looks bad on the Democratic Party. This looks bad on the Democratic leadership. This looks bad on the DNC. And if it was anybody else, this would be horrific. But since it's Hillary Clinton, there are people with rumblings, but most people are being quiet. That just goes to show you how powerful Hillary still is. She's calling out a veteran as a Russian asset. Look, dude, if Putin likes Tulsi because he likes her politics, or if some group in Russia or a bot farm or anything, how does Tulsi control that anyway? Somebody could like you or me. Somebody could like my show and send me followers or retweets. I got nothing to do with it. When you call somebody an asset, that means they are working with this other entity. That is a serious allegation to make. And to make that about an active military personnel, a major who has people reporting under her, people's lives are in her hands. She's directing other servicemen and women. You're calling that person an asset of an enemy state, basically, Russia? Guys, that's horrible stuff, man. You can say you don't like a person's politics, you disagree with their foreign intelligence or their foreign policy, you disagree on the way that they see the world or whatever, but to go so far without actual hard evidence and say that they are actually working with Putin, God, I said I'm gonna go next call. I just had to get that out because I may forget. That's disgusting, man, and we shouldn't allow that. I don't care who it is. If it's Tulsi or anyone else, we should not allow that. And we got Kamala calling out Trump for using Twitter. What about Hillary Clinton using the airwaves, using various media platforms to call an active member, a person in good standing in our military, and a person in Congress as a Russian asset without any evidence? Where are you, Kamala, calling out Hillary on this? See, they only care when it's somebody they don't like. Get what I'm saying? I had to listen to Kamala make these claims about Trump, about trying to get him off Twitter all this time. What about Hillary? Shh, everybody quiet. When you see somebody getting smeared to the degree, I've been covering them smearing Tulsi for months, almost a year now. And it has a cumulative effect on a person who does content. I mean, go to my channel. Pretty much everything I've done on Tulsi was a defense video from a smear that they laid on her, whether it be The View, whether it be an interview on MSNBC, Morning Joe, or that horrible, I forget the horrible woman, the horrible panel she was on MSNBC. It was different from Morning Joe. Or if it was, Joe Rogan's podcast with the Barry Weiss, or, and now this, and then the New York Times article, like every time I turned around, they were smearing her. It's just ridiculous. So after a while, it's like, hold on a second. If they hate her this much, she's got to be an ally. They hate her too much, man. Come on. So they're overlooking, I can't overlook the fact that the people that don't like me don't like her. So am I nitpicking a little too much because they don't like her? They really don't like her.
Hey, what's up, Tim? I'm going to keep it real simple. Pragmatic Cynicism on Twitter. Look me up. I was always going to say, is Hillary Clinton, whether she likes it or not, had sexual relations with that woman.
Oh!
She got raped on she got raped on Twitter.
Something happened. I don't want to use that term because that's a bad term, man. To use for jokes. That's what they tell me anyway, Johnson. But yeah, something happened. I'll be keeping moving, man. You guys, stop trying to get me kicked off YouTube. I just got my license back. I can't be around nobody bad, Johnson. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Hey. Hey, Tim, I've been listening to your show since last election. You always speak the truth. I'm currently working 2 jobs so I can become a patron. Tulsi lit Hillary's ass up. So, well,
I lost you again, man, but I like the beginning of this.
okay, so I've been thinking, by Hillary's logic, Tulsi Gabbard was the DNC vice chair and a Russian spy. So wrap your head around that.
Yeah. They need to do a better vetting process, Johnson. You guys appointed a Russian spy.
All right.
Good one, Johnson. Good one.
That's all I have to say.
Good one. No, you're on point, man. Man, a few words. Don't forget to join, man. I'm going to hold you to it. But that's a good one. Damn it, Johnson. I didn't think of that. Can I use that? You guys, you're supposed to be the sharpest tools in the box, and you end up recruiting somebody off of Red Sonja or Bullwinkle and Matilda. Like, you recruited a spy for the DNC. Oh, man, Debbie Wasserman, what's up, man? Your picking skills ain't so good. You got the Arwan brothers, now you got Matilda the spy over here. What? Robbie Mook, what's up, man? How you guys let that slip by you? All right, I'm going to go to the next call.
You know, just lapping up this whole Tulsi Gabbard, Hillary Clinton thing, you know? And I was thinking, you know, they always talk about how, you know, this group, the Green Party, or people who voted for Jill Stein elected Trump. Well, number one, Trump won the Electoral College, okay? So his Trump supporters, they're basically irrelevant at this particular point. So if we look at the email that went out from Clinton's headquarters by the DNC, taunting, elevating Trump as president, I think it's safe to conclude that they elevated Trump. The DNC is solely responsible for Trump for trying to elevate him as a way to make it an easy victory for Hillary. That's just my thought on that, Johnson.
Well, Jesse, man, I agree with you, brother. Definitely agree with you, man. This is Cory Booker's response to Tulsi Gabbard calling out Hillary Clinton. Listen, it's not right what we're doing. Listen, when I was the mayor of Newark, I would have never called Hillary Clinton a warmonger. She's not a warmonger. She just likes war a whole lot. There's nothing wrong with liking war. We just gotta get along. Nobody wants Hillary coming out of the woods. Only Hillary wants Hillary coming out of the woods. There's no Democrat. I'm telling you right now, look, imagine how Amy Klobuchar and Joe Biden feel right now. They're going to get lumped in with Hillary. This is horrible for them. Johnson, they do not want this. They don't want it, Johnson. They want Hillary back in those woods. Get in those woods, Hillary. Don't you ever come back out. Amy's like, I was just starting to get a little bit of daylight, and then I have a problem. Why did you come out? Why did you are making it harder for me, and I can't deal with it being harder. And my father, he was driving a car and was drunk off his ass, and we had to put him in a home, and then Hillary came out of the woods. And then now we're here, and I don't understand. It's just, In Minnesota. Shut up, cop. Shut up, cop. Bad cop.